jump naked. So what did that teach me? Well, it taught me that Danes like free stuff, and we don't mind being naked. It was such a popular event, so they had to shut it down. There were like way too many naked people out there. We're now just about across the harbor here at this point here. At this point here, our Captain Sealers will start his turn. And this is a maneuver we do to get us as close as possible to the Little Mermaid as we can. I can imagine we would get a few complaints if we didn't have her on the tour. And I spotted ahead of us that there are a lot of people in there on land taking photos of the Little Mermaid. We will take the spot right behind her in a moment. So when we get there, be prepared to wave and smile. Because you will be on a lot of Facebook and Instagram pages tonight. The Little Mermaid here, she was a gift from the Carlsberg brewer Carl Jacobsen, and he gifted us this statue here back in 1913, and she's been sitting here on her rock ever since, waiting for her prince. It has not always been easy to be the Little Mermaid. She's been decapitated twice, had her arm sawn off once, paint thrown at her many times, and other shenanigans, but we always managed to get her back. Stronger than ever, you can say. I'm fortunate enough to live out here in this area of Copenhagen here, close by the Little Mermaid. I do recommend that you come out here again, see her from the land, but even more so that you come out and visit this green area that you now see behind. It's called Castel in Danish, the Citadel in English. It's one of the world's oldest military fortifications. It's a very charming area of Copenhagen, complete with ramparts, moats, historical buildings, even a windmill and a church in there. And at the same time it plays an active role for the Danish military nowadays. Part of our military headquarters located in there. But you can walk right in through the front door. It's open to the public. And most mornings when I walk to work through there, don't see much security there at all. Highly recommended by me. Sort of my backyard. We do not have the Royal Yacht Dannebrog in harbour today. It's a shame, it's a beautiful ship. On most summer days you would be out in the middle of the harbour by brewery number 1 looking at Jesday. But today she's actually being used for hosting our royal family's visit to Faroe Island. So yesterday, today and tomorrow the King and Queen will be visiting Faroe Island, part of the Danish kingdom. But I do have all year round, I do have a royal pavilion, so whenever the King and Queen wants to go sail on the royal yacht, they come down to these two pavilions, where they're picked up by smaller boats and brought out to the royal yacht. These smaller boats, you can spot them over there by Holmen, these small wooden boats, used by the royal family when sailing in Copenhagen harbour. Talking about ships, let's talk about much bigger ships. Let's talk about the Maersk Shipping Line, headquarter coming up on the right. Maersk Shipping Line, one of the biggest in the world. They take care of about 17% of all goods being carried around the world, being carried on Maersk's blue ships. However, there is another company called the MSC, also taking care of about 17%, and they have been considered bigger. That's not okay with me. I'm a Dane, I like to win. So I've been looking into the numbers, and if you count the number of active ships, the Maersk Shipping Line here, they have 729 ships. That's more than the competitor. So if we decide, just on this boat here, that's how we count, you know what? We win. Maersk proud to be here by Copenhagen Harbour. They needed to expand their headquarters to the border neighbouring lot, Amagergade 44, where see to be quite 10. How much does it cost to buy a little bit of land? Well, they paid 400 million for it. Now they're done tearing down the buildings that were already there. They'll be building new 26,000 square meters. And when they're done, they'll have room for 3,100 people working here at their new combined headquarters. Denmark has always been a seafaring nation, a trading nation. Back in the days, Denmark had colonies. These were warehouses here on the right here. They did trade with the colonies. First one here, he did trade with islands in the Caribbean. We call them the Danish West Indies. They're nowadays the US Virgin Islands. We sold them to the US back in 1917. The yellow one here did trade with Greenland. And the last one, we call it the blue, it did trade with our African trading stations. Coming into view now on the right, we have a main board. This is where the royal family lives. The main board here consists of 4 mansions built during the 1750s. They were originally built as winter homes for 4 noble families. But when Christopher Castle burned down in 1794, the king needed somewhere to go. He decided for a main board here, and the royal family have been living here ever since. King Frederick, he lives with his family in the first mansion out here towards the water with the 4 chimneys, and Queen Margaret, she lives in the mansion with the 5. Queen Margaret, she still holds the title of Queen. She decided to abdicate last year on the 14th of January. On that day, she had been our Queen and Monarch for exactly 52 years, making her the longest ruling monarch ever here in Denmark, surpassing the otherwise legendary King Christian IV. We can tell whether they're at home because then they would be flying their flags with a royal regalia on top. So none of them home today. As I said, King and Queen, we know, are on the Faroe Islands. The church coming into view in front of us here, this is Frederick's Church. We Danes, we usually just call it the Marble Church. And the Marble Church has the biggest dome of any church here in Northern Europe. But, if you draw a line from the Marble Church over the Christian statue of King Frederick V in the middle of the square, and you take that line all the way over the harbour, you see that you end up in the middle of the opera. A coincidence? No, of course not. This is by design, this is by request, completing the axis of power, and the gift of the opera here, Mads McKinney Møller, he was himself gifted back in the year 2000 by the Queen, the Order of the Elephant. That is the highest acclaim that you can get here in Denmark. Only ever been given to 8 non-head of states. When looking at the opera here, I like to tell people on my boats a personal story. It's in the category of having a strange day at work. It was the first year I was a guide. I remember it was the 16th of July, a few years back. I came into work just expecting a normal, beautiful, sunny day. It was a beautiful day, it was a sunny day, it was definitely not normal. We had the Red Bull Challenge here in Copenhagen. Red Bull Challenge Copenhagen. People jumping off the roof of the opera and down into the water. That is a 27-meter tall tower jump. And you have to imagine thousands of spectators there in front of the opera here. 10,000s of people here to feed a square where they built an arena. Hundreds and hundreds of boats just crowding out the harbor here. And then people like Captain Sealers and me trying to do our job, sailing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth all day. I think that qualifies as a strange day at the office. We're now crossing the harbor once more, and that tells me that our next destination will be Christianshavn. Christianshavn, built by our famous King Christian IV, a very famous king, a very prolific builder. And he built Christianshavn with inspiration from Amsterdam. He wanted to build something like Amsterdam because he thought he could lure rich merchant families from the Netherlands up here to Copenhagen, and thereby making Copenhagen a richer city, Denmark a richer country. That part of the plan didn't work. They were quite content staying down in Amsterdam, so we got this nice addition to our city in the form of Christianshavn, which we will visit next. A few quick fun facts about our famous king. You might call them naughty facts. He fathered 23 kids. That takes some effort, I guess. He started a lot of wars and he lost a lot of wars. He wasn't very good at that. And later on this tour here, I will give you my own, totally personal, totally private theory about why we were losing the wars back then. When we sail into Christianshavn's Canal, it will become a quiet zone. We are not allowed to use the microphone in there. So you will get 10 minutes of peace and quiet. Basically it means you do not have to listen to me. What I will do is I will make use of the time. I will walk down the boat to each one of you individually, giving you the opportunity to ask individual questions. Could be about the tour so far, could be about Copenhagen in general, Denmark in general. Well, feel free to ask me pretty much anything. and I will be happy to answer you.
Wilden jullie te bouwen wat op dit moment Amsterdam leek?
When we sail into Christianshavn Canal, it will become a quiet zone. I'll still do the bridge warnings in there for safety. We are allowed to do that. And the first one is coming up now, so please remain seated. Thank you.
Why we want to keep Green Line? Well, it's part of Denmark historical. They believe and they want to change the part of the so they are now in a long playing road trip. They're not ready yet, but they can actually vote for independence. So, but until then, well, they're part of it. Let's see what happens. Let's see. The Greenlandic people that they're happy to stay.
It's like a Lego of a guy, and he's like this big on the boat. Spiral tower again.
Yeah, I saw it a bit ago. Yeah.
And I was like, is he paying attention?
Mensen voort, foto's maken, dat valt tegen. Overal mensen voort. Het is wel bijzonder. Zo is een wijk, ook die boten niet. Ja, die kunnen vast vanuit de bus nog niet. Die kunnen er naartoe. Denk ik.
Where we were walking yesterday trying to find our way to that spiral tower. We couldn't get across the canal. Too late.
Yeah, you can say the question, but I need to go on the mic in a moment.
Go ahead.
What was it?
About the parking.
Oh. Yeah, I think they got their designated spot.
Okay, so it's like, so do you just go out on a cruise and you
We're going to the low bridge, and right after the low bridge, there will be a good photo opportunity of our Saviour's Church on the left. But for now, low bridge, please remain seated. Thank you.
Psych. Oh, there it is.
If you're not quick here, you get a photo of the most photographed tree in Copenhagen.
Nou, dan doen we er straks wel.
So, all these people's boats, can you actually, is there like parking where you can take your boat to go somewhere and there's parking, or is it just you can cruise around but you really only have one?
Well, if you decide to go to Gothenburg or whatever there, you go there, and then you call the harbor master and ask them if they have any free slips. Like for instance, we could take a boat there at number 69.
Oh, okay.
And then the local harbor master knows the availability and the pricing.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Low bridge, please remain seated. Thank you.
Probably not worth jumping in your boat.
Yeah. More side story.
Hello, Rich. Please be seated. Thank you. And in front of us here, we have the Black Diamond here, the Royal Library of Denmark, built intentionally with a tilt of 7 degrees over the water. So whatever's down here in the water here gets reflected up into the building. And now have a look in the window here as our Captain Sealers is doing this maneuver here, bringing the boat back, this time closer to the window, for a good photo opportunity. I call this Captain Sealers' signature move, by the way. Thank you. Thank you for doing it. Say hello to yourselves.
Oh. And the boat there.
What's that?
And the reflection, you can see the boat.
This effect achieved by this building here intentionally being built with a tilt of 7 degrees over the water. Materials used to achieve this effect, black granite. We had to go all the way to Zimbabwe to find enough of it. And of course glass and steel. As we now pass it, we can see behind it, we can see it's built and joined together with an older building, exactly 103 years older building. Both serve the same purpose, being the Royal Library of Denmark. And you can walk effortlessly between the two buildings, so in a way you can walk a history, 100 years of history. I overheard another guide using a very cinematic description of it. It's like going from a Star Wars movie to a Harry Potter movie. In front of us here we have blocks built in 2018, best known for housing the Danish Architecture Center. We will now sail into Frederiksholm's Canal. There will be a lot of low bridges coming in there in very quick succession. My recommendation is to remain seated while in there. Thank you.
See 'em?
Yeah.
Here on our right here we have King Christian IV's brewery, and I will talk more about this brewery right after this next low bridge. Coming up now, so please remain seated. Thank you. Built in 1608 and in 1618 it became the brewery. Back then beer was healthier than water. Beer healthier than water. How does that sound to you? Sounds really good to me. Let's have a look at this body here. This is partly Danish beer. And back then, if you were employed by the king, you were privileged. You could be part of his court, you could be one of his soldiers, one of his sailors. You were privileged. You were given 10 liters of beer every day as part of your salary. And that makes me think, I might be working for the wrong company. Born in the wrong century perhaps. And remember that I had my own personal private theory about why we were losing the wars back then? Yeah, maybe that's it.